Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kaustubha. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Love's gas station in Canaan, New York. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host Raghunath and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Tuesday, everybody. Tuesday's Bhagavatam class. I'm here live with Bunky. We're sitting here at the gas station parking lot. Why, you might ask? I have no clue. My internet is dead at my house. My phone has no signal at my house. I can't even call the phone. I can't even call the internet company to fix my internet because my phone doesn't work. So I'm hanging out at gas stations all day, just wandering the parking lots.
What has it come to?
What has my life come to?
I live in a car.
It's upstate living, Kaustubha.
Is it? Okay.
Partially.
All right. Yesterday was a bit tough, you were saying?
I had a tough day yesterday. Day. I was doing really good last few days, really high, really floating. And then I got a little, and I was going through, things were shifting. Things were shifting in my life. And
in a positive way?
No, in a negative way.
A negative way.
In a very negative. It's all good. One of those
Okay.
devotees see with the Vishnu goggles that even like tough shifting sands.
I'm glad you said shifting. I didn't know where you're going with that phrase. Tough shifting.
Anyway, my world was moving, not in good ways, but I was really applying the Bhagavatam. I mean, matter of fact, I even called you up and bragged.
I know that. I know about.
Remember?
Yeah.
I called up Kaustubha. I was like, I deserve a Krishna blue ribbon today for how I reacted to what just happened. And I was like, if there is a Krishna award, like some golden cup or something, I should get it on stage, make a speech because I really deserved it today. And the next day, I got and I started. I even called Mara. I bragged to Mara. Yeah, I did really good today. I was great. All this stuff happened and I did great. And then all of a sudden, I didn't do great yesterday. Poor Bunky. Justin, he just had to deal with me just losing my mind in a mental lockdown. Lady Di called me about something, and then I just couldn't even talk.
Well, Bunky was there. Bunky was there. He kept you together, right?
Bunky, did you keep me together? He tried.
Well, you're here, right? Talking about it.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Well, maybe the full moon had something to do with it,
Full moon?
But
Full moon affects the mind.
It does.
Moon,
but
the mind.
Speaking of the full moon.
Vajra Purnima. It was a bright moon last night.
I went up to see it, but, like where I went up to my roof, but the angle, just because some of the buildings around me are real tall, it would have taken forever for me to have the angle to see that moon.
We went out last night, me, Bunky, and Tarun, my son, and we just watching the moon. I went up this morning, chanted some japa under the moon.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So it was the Bhadra Purnima, which was the day that's incredibly auspicious to give the gift of the Bhagavatam.
How did we do? Did people give gifts?
Yeah, we did well. I mean, we did well on both ends. We did well in giving. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think it was something like last year, maybe 40 or more, maybe up to 50, something like that, donated sets, something like that. I don't have the exact number, but sometime in the afternoon it was over 30, so I think it was pushing 50, something like that. Wisdom of the Sages people just donating sets of Bhagavatam,
So nice.
just warms my heart. But then on the other end, I sent out a message early in the day that if you want a set, because so many Wisdom of the Sages people are giving it, well then, we could hook you up with a set possibly.
So
And
some
so
people wanted to give and some people wanted to receive.
That's
Both are
right.
good in this case.
Both are great. And so I sent out a message to our to the Sage page subscribers. Another reason to subscribe to the Sage page by going to Wisdom of
Valuable
the Sages.
perks.
Valuable perks come. Free sets of Bhagavatam. That's like a $250 monetary value and an unlimited spiritual value, right? So I sent out a message saying, if you want to give a set, here's how you do. But also, if you want to get a set, can't promise you anything, no promises, but
Your name on the list.
you might get a set of Bhagavatam. So then I sent the people at ISV, ISKCON Silicon Valley, who were really spearheading this thing. I sent them a list of names, like 30 names, and I thought I'm kind of pushing it here, but that's how many people wrote in, so hopefully many of them will get it. And then like later in the afternoon, they said, keep the names coming, keep them, they're saying like, we love the Wisdom of the Sages people, they're focused on Bhagavatam, they love the Bhagavatam. They kind of made us a priority.
We really did. We really did. We're like their best customers. Because the people that get the Bhagavatam, we all love the Bhagavatam.
We read it every day. So so they kind of like put us, elevated Wisdom of the Sages people to like, hey, we'll put them at the top of the list. They're gonna get it. So at the end of the day, I think I sent them like 60 names. 60 people wrote in. It was funny because after I made that second announcement, it was like boom, like everybody like immediately started. Her Maris nodding because she saw it in the Gmail. And so if you wrote in, you are most likely getting a set, I would say. Now, some of them are going to come a little late because they ran out. And so now in Germany, like they're printing more, and those will be ready in mid-October. So if you wrote in, particularly if you're in North America, you're pretty sure getting a set. If you're in Europe, there's a handful of European people that's a little harder for them to arrange. They may be able to pull that off. They may not. I don't know. But hey, about 60 Wisdom of the Sages listeners got sets of Bhagavatam yesterday.
That's amazing.
Wonderful, right?
Imagine getting that in the mail.
I know.
I love getting stuff in the mail. What this be? A set of Bhagavatams. I got a lawnmower in the mail yesterday. I was like, a lawnmower.
Anything
I was
that
so
comes in
happy
the
when
mail,
it came. I was like, I got that little that link, like track your thing, and then they send you, it's coming today.
Yeah,
I was like, my lawnmower is coming.
Well, I thought you had that big tractor thing that you drive around.
I
got
do.
a huge.
You need a little lawnmower. I got a
area.
little Makita electric lawnmower. They're good.
All right.
They're good.
And a weed whacker. How many instruments do you need to care for this property?
You need a lot because it's a different world having a lawn,
okay,
having trees.
All right, now we want to read something today.
You don't have to worry about when a tree goes down. That's not in your concern. I got like stump people in my life. I've got edger people in my life. I've got like driveway people in my life. I've got. If you look how many plumbers' phone numbers I have, you don't even have to think about plumbers.
I don't. I'm called the super. That's it.
Call the super.
But there was something we want to read today. Let's get into it because it's getting late. But there's something I read on Instagram yesterday. It was from one of our daily Zoomers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's here with us this morning or not.
Can I say who it is?
Yeah, of course.
All right. This is on Instagram. So we read this on Instagram. So this is Nadia. She's one of our regular Zoomers.
Nadia. I think it pronounced the name Career, but maybe the French people. I think it's a French name. French people could probably correct me. But it's like one of those French words. I think that it's like impossible for us to pronounce.
Like au bon pain.
I
was
like,
like,
don't even
what?
try. I don't even try.
Au bon pain. Au bon pain.
Just that place. You just that place with the French name.
Why do it? Why not just call it something we can say?
Please, be kind to us. Don't make us embarrass ourselves.
Give us 3 letters we can say. APP. ABP.
There you go. ABP. Okay, but there was some Nadia who tunes in all the time, like as a Zoomer.
Yeah, she's a regular listener.
She's like a yoga teacher in Canada. She's from like Northern Ontario.
Okay. So she said
Her father's a devotee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And listens to the show.
Her father?
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Okay.
So props
So
to him.
it made it sound like she was at the temple for the first time with
No, but
kids.
well, the impression I got, what the post was about. She posted beautiful pictures of her children. She brought her children to the temple. Maybe she doesn't live near a temple. She doesn't go to temple very often.
Okay.
But what I got from this is she. This is part of the theme that I pulled out of this is she wasn't forcing her faith on her kids, but what she was doing was exposing her kids to a temple environment and allowing them to process it and then
How,
discussing with it. So I think it was
how old
just
were
like
the
a great.
kids? How old were the kids?
Well, we can look at the pictures. I
Okay.
don't have the exact, but let me take a look right now. It
Right.
looks like, well, one of them looks to be about, I don't know, 9,
Okay.
11, and 13, maybe something like that.
All right, let me dive in here.
Yeah.
We went to the temple last night. I
Mhm.
brought them there for a program with zero explanations. Just like kids, get in the car, we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
We were just going, no questions asked, no why or what was going to happen. No, you need to do this or this is for that, and you need to be, do, think. It was an experience for them to be submersed in. The music and celebration, singing and dancing, the kids, teens, babies, grandparents all participating. The sincere reverence and joy. It sparked something in them, a multitude of questions that I could see in their eyes as we walked out. After it was over, they were offered a free feast and went back for seconds and thirds, shocked at the kindness of everyone, of the giving without want, of the sincere gift of food without expectation. Walking back to the car, I sat down and they initiated a conversation that was so vast and expansive about God, different religions, faith, science, and how it plays into the unmeasurable, unexplainable aspect of what God truly is: love. We talked about history, the meaning of life, what the point of everything is, why we are even here, illusions, realities, and all their wonderings. It was one of the best conversations I've had this year, and it was with children who have open minds. I didn't have all the answers because how can I? How can any of us? The beauty of sharing ideas, thoughts, beliefs, and questions without trying to change, convert, or force someone into doing something is so damn beautiful. It's the coolest. I love these kids and their father, who is the unwavering rock of love and reason our entire family gains strength from. Homeschool starts in 2 weeks, starts 2 weeks late because we immersed ourselves in everything you can't learn from a book. We're leaving we're leaving different and with 10 kgs of extra luggage weight thanks to the books they purchased. I found inspiration again and drive to do better with the boundaries that are non-negotiable. This is our life, how we do things, what we believe, and how we move through this life is part of our story. It's beautiful.
Very nice, right?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
dude,
beautiful.
why not finish it? Only 2 sentences left.
I felt like this maybe
Right.
had nothing to do with her
Oh
experience.
well. She says, "Here's the truth: education and boundaries, all submersed in love."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, first days at temples. That's
You,
it's always interesting.
you always say that Bhakti is kid friendly, right?
Very very kid friendly.
Yeah. And I just thought this was such a great example of like, even like when we talk about like educate, like talking about spiritual things, like in school and so on. It's not that you have to indoctrinate people, but we should be exposed to things that make us question life, and particularly traditions that are rich in wisdom. Like everybody should have some exposure to wisdom traditions, and particularly with bhakti, it's a wisdom tradition that's also it's also like it's set within a very beautiful, vibrant devotional culture of
Mhm.
music and food and so on. And so to me, I thought this was a great example of parenting. I thought it was also a great example of like what a temple is supposed to be, right? That someone could walk in there, even children can walk in there, and now they're questioning about life. Who am I? What is God? What is this all about? It's to me that was just fantastic on both sides.
It's a big one I think for kids is if they make other friends that are into bhakti.
Hmm.
I've got 2 sets of glasses on. I just realized that.
What are you doing?
Thanks for telling me, people. No one's going to tell me that. I'm going to do the whole show with 2 sets of glasses on. Everyone's looking at me, laughing to themselves. No one even messaged me on the board. I think it's what's good is these things where they get to meet other kids practicing bhakti. That's a real secret. Because then they develop like an attachment to, because kids just want to have friends. They want to play. But it's the quality of the kids they play with that, just like us, the quality of the kids we played with influences us.
I saw that going on with Rooney and what was the boy's name?
Yeah, my son and
Chaitanya Rasa's kid.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Prana.
Prana?
Prana, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
They're sweet.
In Italy. All right.
Let's
Just
dive
wanted
into
to
the
read that.
Bhagavatam.
You ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudire. Before we started the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated in loving service to the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmidatam Nina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3. We have such a religious congregation, Kaustubha. As soon as I say Narayan, everyone stops what they're doing. Tom Essig puts down his guitar. Someone's drinking a glass of something. They put that down. Everyone just goes right to this Catholic bowing down, hands in namaste. It's actually very beautiful to witness. Bunch of religious people on the show. And yes, of course, there are a couple people who buck the system, but that's okay.
Are people bucking the system?
They're doing push-ups or something. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready? We're in the 3rd canto.
Yeah.
We're talking about Kardama Muni.
Yeah, well, Kardama Muni is saying he's sharing his, he made a request in the last text that we read. He made a request. He wanted some blessings. He wanted some permission to carry out a particular spiritual endeavor or path that he wanted to walk. He was trying to get some blessings for it.
You know, the first time I heard that word Muni, because it's a Sanskrit word, it means like a sage.
M-U-N-I. Yeah, Muni.
When I already thought that Krishnas were a cult, I was like, oh man, the Moonies. And the Moonies were a famous cult by Reverend Sung Young Moon. Are you familiar with the Moonies?
I'm familiar.
I don't know. It's just another crazy Christian Korean cult.
Hey, get careful there, brother. Hey, just...
Christian.
You would have loved them. They had these massive marriages. They had these marriages like, you know, with like whole stadium marriages, you know.
Well, maybe we should get together with the Moonies and have a intercult softball game.
That's what I'm telling you. You'll probably get along.
May the best cult win. I'm going to start picking. All right, you get into the Bhagavatam. I'm going to start picking who's going to be on my intercult softball team.
Okay.
I'm going to look around at Zoom and say, Greg DeGasu could probably pitch, I bet. Okay. All right.
Get Mary in there.
Yeah.
She can play first base or something right now.
David Charles Wilson, he could be the batter for top of the lineup. Okay, let's do this.
Text 34. Let's read it again.
Text 34. Today I have something to ask from you, who are the Lord of all living entities. Since I have now been liberated by you from my debts to my Father, and since all my desires are fulfilled, I wish to accept the order of an, we had this word yesterday. Itinerant. Itinerant mendicant. Yeah. Renouncing this family life, I wish to wander about free from lamentation, thinking always of you in my heart.
Yeah, that's a nice last line there. Karisye tvam hridiyunjan vishokaha. Right, so I'm going to wander about And I'm going to be free from lamentation, vishoka. Why? Because I'm always thinking of you within my heart, right? Because my consciousness has not been, I'm no longer hankering for the external things. My focus has gone internal. I'm feeling a connection with you internally, and then my lamentations just, recede. There's the formula right there. Right? That's what you're meant to cultivate by these mendicants that wander. They're cultivating that relationship internally. And it's not something that you necessarily have to leave home for, have to go to the forest for. You can do it in the forest of, the world that we live in, right?
Yeah.
You seem a little distracted. What's going on? You looking at Dunkin' Donuts over there? What's happening?
Not at my regular place. A little confused.
Okay. But I think that's important. Think of your workplace and the world that you need to move through as your jungle, in a sense, right? Maybe a concrete jungle that you live in. Yeah. But that sannyasi, the wanderer, the idea was that they kind of fearlessly left home. And you wander through that, there's dangerous animals. There's, sometimes food is a little scarce. Sometimes weather is a little difficult. But through it all, you're going within. You're going internal. You're feeling that connection to God within. And so we can have they're similar. It's different, but there are also all kinds of fears or challenges that we have to pass through in life. And that can be our jungle. That can be our field to cultivate that connection.
Yep.
All right.
The personality of Godhead, Kapila said, whatever I speak, whether directly or in the scriptures, is authoritative in all respects for the people of the world. O Muni, because I told you before that I would become your son, I have descended to fulfill this truth.
Okay, so now we have Kapila speaking for the first time, right?
And he's not a baby, right? He's
a grown man. Yeah, he's a young adult or an adult.
They gave birth to him. Okay.
He's very beautiful, right? He's like stunningly beautiful. This avatar of Lord Vishnu. That is Kardama.
That's what we decided. He grew up very quickly.
He grew up quickly. I hear that's even the case in the heavens, right? There's not like all the struggle to raise the kids. They kind of just like, you're kind of like pregnant.
That would be easy.
You give birth, and then the kid grows right up. It's
and
like
they're
that.
Nice. And they've already been trained well.
So Kapila was very nice.
Yeah. This is great.
So he said that he had golden hair, and he had a very beautiful form, but he's this avatar of Vishnu that's there for this particular purpose, and that's going to come up with his purpose.
Now being sanctioned by me as you desire, surrendering all your activities to me, conquering
insurmountable. You jumped way ahead. Bro.
I'm sorry. 36.
36. Yeah.
My appearance in this world is especially to explain the philosophy of Sankhya, which is highly esteemed for self-realization by those desiring freedom from the entanglement of unnecessary material desires.
Okay.
That's a great phrase, isn't it? The entanglement of unnecessary material desires. Okay, you got some material desires. I get it. You want breakfast. How about all the unnecessary material desires that we have?
Right.
And what an entanglement. Just like like when your hair gets tangled in the old days of having hair. Or you get like some thread or yarn it's all tangled.
Brahmin thread.
I get my Brahmin thread tangled on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Now being sanctioned by me, this path of self-realization, which is difficult to understand, has now been lost in the course of time. Please know that I have assumed this body of Kapila to introduce and explain this philosophy to human society again. You know what I feel, Kaustubha? I really feel like this stuff has been lost. And then when Prabhupada came, he like resurrected all this stuff that we had just forgotten. And in the same way, it's been lost in due courses of time. And there's just been dark ages where people don't have this wisdom. And even the religious practices they have are sometimes fanatical or
shallow,
sometimes
maybe.
Shallow,
superficial.
And I feel like this came as almost to reconnect the dots from what was according to this book eternally always there, but
Yeah.
there's just been like hiccups along the line. And I feel very fortunate that we're born in this birth
Well, you know
and
what?
not
Yeah.
50 years earlier or 70 years earlier.
I do
I miss
feel
it.
this sense of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, because what he gave such a wealth of literature, right? Like, he was traveling around the world constantly, in those last 14 years of his life. Um, but in managing and teaching and doing so much, but he would wake up in these very early hours, midnight or so, and for hours write these books, and he put out such a wealth of literature. And within that, it's like what Kapila Dev taught, he's going to help me understand, what the Goswamis of Vrindavan taught, who kind of like, who kind of presented the theology of our lineage, and the philosophy of our lineage. He kind of boils it down in a very clear way that we can understand, So like it's like he's taken all this broad basis of this broad field of spiritual teachings, and then he just kind of churns it out, and he repeats his messages from this angle and from that angle. So when you read his commentaries, you gradually, like, the whole thing starts to crystallize, and he's kind of giving us the wealth of this vast tradition in a way that we, from this very bizarre world that we live in the very crazy dented upbringing that we have, can make sense of it. And not only make sense of it, but the way that he teaches it encourages us to understand you have to apply this in life for it to become dynamic. And he shows us how we can apply it. It's a credible contribution.
What do you think about the age of Aquarius?
I don't know what you're talking about. What? I'm not entertaining that. We're on a different subject.
All right, let's just continue.
Yeah.
Your response was so awesome.
You like that? I'm glad you liked it.
Because
Because I was a little disappointed in yours.
it just meant we're entering some special age.
Oh, okay. I see.
The
what
age
you're
of
saying.
Aquarius,
I
man.
didn't
That's
put it
why.
together.
Maybe
I
that's
didn't put
why
it
things are
together.
changing. Things are shifting. They're reconnecting. The dots are connected now.
Okay.
I said,
Okay.
The age of Aquarius. He goes,
I thought you were talking about the musical or something like that.
oh, the music.
song.
is
The
good.
song.
That's a good song.
I know you're into it.
Let's continue on.
Okay. Text 38.
38. Now being sanctioned by me, go as you desire, surrendering all your activities to me. Conquering insurmountable death, worship me for eternal life.
Nice.
That sounds
there's
very Christian, doesn't it?
I guess, yeah, you could say worship me for eternal life. But what I'm focusing on, the phrase that I'm focusing on here, is surrendering all your activities to me. Right? There's this. It says my ye, like unto me, to me. Sannyasata karmana. So karma or karmana. Again, I don't know the why can't I even think of the word? God, we're so uneducated.
Sanskrit,
It's the Sanskrit, the language.
transliteration.
No, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, forget it. But in any case, how the words get adjusted by the suffixes or prefixes,
Yeah.
But in any case, the karma refers to one's activities, and sannyasa refers to renouncing or giving up. Taking it and placing it, like you place something somewhere. You renounce it, but you give it. So he's saying it's just it's another formula for life. Karma sannyasa means I'm offering and the Gita uses the term karma sannyasa as one who renounces their worldly responsibilities or their worldly duties.
Yeah.
And so that I see that here, because certainly he's about to wander off to the forest. He's giving up his duties as a husband, knowing that his son is there to care for his wife at this point. He's giving up his duties. I don't know what other duties he had, as a father.
That's a Sanskrit glossary goodie of the day. Mara, maybe put that on. What is the meaning of sannyas?
Where a great place. It was coming to my mind, but there's the word sannyasa, there's the word tyaga, but they have different meanings. Like I think
nuance.
Tyaga or Tyaktva means to like you just turn your back on something and walk away from it. And I think, if I remember correctly, this is Sridhar Maharaj discusses this in his Gita, on his book on the
Put that
Gita.
book on the board, Mara, please.
Yeah, H.D. Goswami. But he mentioned, I think when he speaks about sannyas, he said then there's another type of renunciation where you consciously place something somewhere. Like, one thing is to give something up, like you turn your back on it. And another way to give something up is like, here, take this, and you consciously place it somewhere. And so here Krishna's saying, take all your activities and offer them to me, right? Give them to me, place them consciously, make them an offering to me. And that's his formula here. That's his formula for conquering insurmountable death. That's his formula for yoga, for bringing our mind to one place. You use your activities, but you make an offering of them.
I forgot to mention in the intro of the show, Sundays are special Youth of Today.
Oh, yeah.
Sundays are Youth of Today.
Yeah.
Now, Nancy Rothman's like, what the hell are you talking about? How did you say my last name? I use Nancy R only. Because Youth of Today is my old band, and my old band witnessed me leave the band and quit the band and enter into Bhakti. And Bhakti and Krishna Bhakti had such a weird, Bhakti Louie knows, it was woven into the hardcore scene. So many of the people from this music scene got into Bhakti in the 80s. And so we're doing some reunion show in Vegas and in Denver. And the whole band's going to be there. So we thought, hey, why not do the Youth of Today Wisdom of the Sages interview? So I'm really excited. And one of them became a card-carrying Hare Krishna. That's our friend Paramatma. Ended up joining us in Shelter and our regular Zoomer. And then the other guys just sort of like witnessed the whole thing. And they witnessed like Shelter start. And they witnessed all these people become devotees. And so I'm really interested to hear their take on it.
Maybe I can ask a few questions like, well, what did you really think of this guy? Raghunath?
I thought it was nuts. I mean, I get it. It was nutty. It was nutty. But it's going to be a good interview.
Yeah, so that's Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. The Youth of Today interview. We got to promote that. I got to create some art for that.
And Mara is officially coming, people. The word's out. Mara is coming. People, I've been getting
Punk Rock Bowling?
Is Mara coming? No, not to Punk Rock Bowling.
What's hold it? You're switching up. You're mixing up things.
Switching to a new important message.
Okay, well, clarify that. It's a new thing. Otherwise, I think she's going out to Nevada.
She's not good. Mara is going to
the following weekend.
Ant camp. The following weekend, October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. She's pulling up. She's showing up. We're excited, and you get to meet Mara basically. So come on down. October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Northern California. Go to mandala.org. And now
mandala.org. You can camp out. You can glamp out.
You can glamp or camp.
Yeah. And I think you got to move quick if you want to glamp. Like, I think their housing is filling up. They got different kind of lodges and cabins and glamping.
Simple ones, nice ones. It's a great place.
But pretty soon it's going to be like just all camping. Like, you got to bring your own tent.
It's going to be like Woodstock. People are just like covered in mud, giving birth to children.
Mayor's like, why did I come here?
Mayor's going to be delivering children. What did I get
in the mud?
Swami Satchidananda will be there with peacock feathers and Moby Grape and Janis Joplin. It's going to be great.
Moby Grape they never went to Woodstock.
They never went to Woodstock. Okay.
No, that was
Swami Satchidananda went to Woodstock.
He did. He opened it up. And you know who kind of brought him there?
Who?
Our friend Sridhar, who does Bhakti Fest.
You're kidding.
Yeah. He brought him there.
All right, let's get back on the show here.
Okay.
Sorry for that little detour.
Yeah. So we were reading text 38 about karma sannyasa.
Now being sanctioned by me.
We read that.
So let's make those Sanskrit glossary goodies, Mayor.
What? Sannyasa?
Sannyasi. What's a sannyasi? Tiaga.
Do you have that book, Mayor? Maybe one of our listeners could pull that up quick if they're someone like Nityananda Chandra or something like that. The nuances between the terms sannyasa and tyaga or tyaktva. Anybody on that?
We need official researchers on the show.
We do. We need Sanskrit people.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, being sanctioned by me, go as you desire, surrendering all your activities to me, conquering insurmountable death, worship me for eternal life
Okay.
in Jesus. In your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me, the supreme self, fulgent soul dwelling within the hearts of all living entities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting? It does feel like God. If you were going to say God is somewhere, wouldn't you say He's in your heart? I wouldn't say like He's in my foot, right, or my ear. Definitely, God is in my ear. I would say definitely like this part of my body, this heart part, feels like if there is a God in the sky, He's right here also. It
He
just
is.
feels that way. What do you think about that?
I'm with you. I mean, he's in the foot too, but he's not in the same way.
No, but I mean, I feel like that's where all the energy of the body's coming from, right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, like that's your broken heart. You feel it there.
Yeah.
You're filled with joy. You feel it here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And so here's, these are the fundamental teachings of yoga right here. Like, how does it work? How do you become free from lamentation and fear? It has to do with your focus going from trying to find my happiness externally to a focus internally. And that focus internally, it's not like you just go inside and there's nothing to find there. There's someone to find there. And that's Krishna in the form of that Paramatma. Right? So it's not, why don't we read the, I don't think you read the last sentence of this verse. Why don't you read the whole thing again?
30.
In your own heart, through your intellect.
In your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me, the supreme effulgent soul dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Thus you will achieve the state of eternal life, free from lamentation and fear. So this is where the mind goes, huh? It goes to lamentation.
And fear.
Oh, remember when we used to do that? Oh, the good old days. Oh, that's where the mind goes. It
Why
laments for
can't
the
it be
past.
more like this?
And then we've got all this anxiety of the future. What about this? Oh my God, what's going to happen here? Even yesterday, I was filled with like anxiety of the future, and I was like, why am I worrying about the future, which may not even ever happen? Don't you hate
Your
worrying
future's
about?
totally bright too, Raghunath. It's like you got a full-on bright future.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
That's what Lady Di said to me too yesterday on the
It's
phone.
like, come on, man.
I was like, Lady Di, I don't mean to dump on you. She's like, you're not dumping, Prabhu. But yeah, it's one of those things like, why invest in worry that you don't even know is going to happen anyway?
Right.
What a poor investment of time and energy and thoughts.
Mind loops. Turbo scenarios. Yeah.
Okay. In your own heart.
No, let's. Oh, can you read the verse again?
No, it's okay.
You haven't read the whole verse, I don't think. Oh, no, you have. Okay, let's read the commentary.
The commentary. The Kamazar.
Alles klar. Yeah.
Alles klar. The Kamazar's in town. What is a Kamazar? Some of our Germans, can you write that on the board? What the heck is a Kamazar?
It's like a
like a
commissioner.
czar?
Something like that, like a commissioner.
The Kamazar. People are very anxious to understand the absolute truth in various ways, especially by experiencing the Brahma-jyoti, or the Brahman effulgence, by meditation and by mental speculation.
Okay, so let's just stop right there.
Do you think that's true? People are very anxious. Anxious in this case, he means excited. People are very
Desiring, yeah.
excited to understand the absolute truth by experiencing the Brahma-jyoti. Matter of fact, most yoga systems are like that. If you go to some yoga fair, they have like yoga fairs.
Yoga fair.
Like sort of spiritual yoga fairs or yoga
Gatherings.
bookshops. All the different yoga groups there, spiritual ones. It's all about the
divine
Brahma-jyoti,
light.
the light, the lights.
Right.
Worshiping.
Agreed. And we could analyze that psychologically, why that is, when so much of this literature is presenting the other manifestations. You see, what we're going to get into in this commentary is these three manifestations of the absolute truth, which is all pervasive, like this Brahma-jyoti, that realizing the eternality of the spiritual energy. But then there's also the Paramatma within the heart, which this verse discussed. And then there's Bhagavan, the person, right? The personal aspect of the absolute truth, which a lot of people, in my opinion, I'll just say it, they're afraid of.
Personal relationships?
Yeah.
Why would we be afraid of personal relationships? Personal relationships are great.
Well, they can be. They can be.
I'm like really cynical now.
Yeah.
Why would anybody have fear of personal relationships?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not understandable, but I'm saying, but it's not entirely rational.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I
my
get
point.
it.
To
Yeah.
say God is not a person, to me, that's an emotional. There's no personal manifestation of God. I would say that's an emotional response, not a rational response.
Well, if you ever had, bad experiences in a church with a priest, with a
Yeah,
with
all
the
that.
with the with the religion, with like a personalized religion, or pray to God, and that God was not um, uh, described as sweet baby Krishna, but as this authoritarian, sadistic, shameful manifestation. Who
Shaming.
wants? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, you hear these guys walking around in robes and beards and doing pranayam, and they say things like, "No, actually, God is light. And God is love.
And you're like, oh
You
yeah,
are actually God. Why worship God out there?
yeah.
You sit on the altar, my friend. You are God." And that sounds a lot more attractive
It
than,
can. Yeah.
right?
Yes, it can. And so what the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam recognizes, again, Bhagavatam written by Srila Vyasadeva, who also wrote the Upanishads, which can be more easily interpreted in this impersonal, or let's say non-personal way, that God is this divine, eternal energy, divine light. Here in this book, right from the beginning, the 11th verse of the second chapter of the Bhagavad, right when the answers start coming. The first chapter is the questions. The
Yeah.
second chapter with text 7, the answers begin. By text 11, right? So just getting started, he identifies that absolute truth, how to understand the absolute truth. Vedanti tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam.
Brahmatmi, Paramatma, Gyanavam, Eti Sabute.
Yeah, Métis. Made me, but that almost sounds like it kind of works. Like I have this manifestation, I have that. Yeah, so Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdate. So learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth, right? So he's saying, Vyasadeva is saying all the great spiritual, the learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth, they call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. These three features: the Brahman, which is the eternality, or the when you realize Brahman, you realize that I'm not made of material energy, that I am spirit, that I'm made of an energy that we can call Brahman or spiritual energy. I realize I'm not this body. I realize I'm eternal. I realize I'm made of the same energy as God. And then there's Paramatma, right? That's it said that the three features of the absolute truth or of God are eternality, knowledge, and bliss. And so the Brahman feature, that all-pervasive divine light, that the eternality is realized in that. But the consciousness of God that's spread everywhere, spread through the Paramatma, through every living being, through every atom. And then there's the bliss. The ultimate bliss is in that relationship, the loving relationship, and that's with Bhagavan, or the person. So why don't we go ahead and read this commentary, Ro? Let's go.
Report. People are very anxious to understand the absolute truth in various ways, especially by experiencing the Brahma Jyoti, or the Brahman effulgence, by meditation and by mental speculation, which here Prabhupada means
Philosophical inquiry.
philosophical inquiry. But Kapila Dev uses the word mam in Sanskrit. That's in the actual text, to emphasize that the personality of Godhead is the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. Very simple, right? Very simple. There's light. There's the light bulb. There's light. There's the sun globe. So there is light, but there is the source of
that
light.
light.
So we
Yes.
accept that there's light. And that's why I like the Bhagavatam too. It's not saying, no, there is no light. There's only sweet baby Krishna. There is light, but there's also the source of light, and they go one hand in hand.
That's right.
So we accept it, but what we don't do, and this is where Prabhupada would, and devotees get angry, is when they feel like
Angry.
we get angry a little sense of our sweet baby Krishna. We say that the light is actually the real thing, and the form is just for the dummies. to understand.
Yeah, it's okay for the children to have some
Children
kind
can
of
understand this
childish belief in a personal form, but
Yeah.
you got to give that up.
Right, but people are actually scholars, and people get this. They understand one goes with the other, depending on our proclivities to worship.
Mhm.
And it's very, very lucidly explained in the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Well, that interesting you say that, because now Prabhupada's he's gonna allude to something. Go ahead, read the next.
Am I thinking like Prabhupada again?
You are.
Exactly. Look, he says it right here in the
Exactly.
Bhagavad Gita. The person, I love when I do this. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead always says, "Mom,
Mom.
unto me."
Yeah.
Mom, M-A-M. But the rascals.
That's the anger you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
Rascals.
No. Well, Prabhupada gets a little angry. The rascals misinterpret the clear meaning. He's going to show
The
where
clear
they
meaning.
go off.
Yeah. Well, so now
I said lucidly explained. Here it says clear meaning.
look at you, Raghunath. So congrats. Let's give Raghunath another award.
Give me another big golden Krishna trophy.
So what he's alluding to specifically, what he this is in one sense is a general statement, but he's alluding to something specific, and that was the commentary on text 934 by Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was at one point the president of India, who wrote his own Gita commentary, right? And so in the commentary, now you see the Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters. It's got 3 sections, right? The first 3 chapters, the second 3 chapters, and the third 3 chapters. Huh?
6 chapters. It's got 18 chapters.
That's what I said. It's got 18 chapters. Oh, I'm sorry. Right, 6 chapters. My mistake. So the first 6 chapters, the middle 6 chapters, and the last 6 chapters. And so the middle 6 chapters specifically go into depth about Bhakti Yoga, and we'll notice that especially in those chapters, Krishna is using the word mam, left and right. Okay? Yeah. And it's said that the middle is kind of considered to be like the most precious part, the most essential part.
Like the king stands in the middle, and then they have guards on either side.
There you go. So nice, Raghu. And so those middle chapters are where the deepest, most essential information is given. And then if you go to the middle of the middle, that would be
the 9th chapter.
The very end of the 9th chapter, right? So text 934 is the last verse in the 9th chapter is really right there in the middle of the Gita, and you get this verse: Manmana bhava mad bhaktu madhyaji mam namaskaru mamvevasyasi satyante pratijane priyosime. Is that the right one?
That's the verse where you can drop the microphone. Thank you, everybody.
Boom.
Boom.
Well,
that's it. Basic teachings, 934, right in the middle. It's the middle of everything. Bhagavad Gita is in the middle of Mahabharata. This is the middle of the universe. Good night, everybody. Say the English, Kaustubha.
Well,
the whole show can end. The whole podcast can end right now.
It could. And the English is: engage your mind always in thinking of mom, me. Become my devotee.
Mom.
Offer your obeisances unto me.
Mom.
And worship me.
Mom.
Being completely absorbed in me.
Mom.
Surely you will come to me.
Mom.
Okay, so it's like if you're trying to, then the message here is Krishna saying, I'm a person, connect with me. And then you get a commentator that says, the word mom here should not be interpreted to refer to Krishna, but should be understood to refer to the dark unknown within. It's like, what?
What? I know. That's enough to drive a Krishna devotee insane.
Yeah, so right. It's like Krishna couldn't have been more explicit in this verse. He uses the word me. How many times? 5 or 6 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in one verse. Right? There's only 4 lines in the verse. He's used the word mom 6 times.
It's as if you don't even want to hear it. Like, you ever tell somebody something and they just don't want to hear what you're saying? They'll hear you're trying to, in the old days, you break up with somebody. Listen, I really love you, but our relationship will just not work out. I don't think we're meant to be together.
No.
And then they just all they hear is, I really love you. You really love me? You really love me? Everything else was, wah, 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 I really love you. Wah, wah, wah. This is what's happening in this verse. Nothing was heard. All those moms were put to the side, and he injects whatever. It's not Krishna we should surrender to.
Yeah.
Anything.
And that gets to the point that we were speaking about earlier. Our attachments, our fears cloud our clarity, you know.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
do.
Let me keep going now.
I get that. Okay, we're running low on time, sir.
Yeah, well, you want to? Should we finish the comment, or should you want to just hold here?
Yeah,
I know.
just read me one more. Let's read one
What?
more. If one can see the personality of Godhead as he appears in different incarnations and understand that he is not assumed a material body, but is present in his own eternal spiritual form, then one can understand the nature of the personality of Godhead. Since the less intelligent cannot understand this point, it is stressed everywhere again and again.
There
It
you
really
go.
is. Simply by seeing the form of the Lord, he has, as he presents himself by his own internal potency, as Krishna, Rama, or Kapila, one can directly see the Brahmajyoti, because the Brahmajyoti is no more than the effulgence of his bodily luster. Since the sunshine is the luster of the planet, I just said that. By seeing the
Sun planet.
sun, one automatically sees the sun shines. Similarly, by seeing the personality of Godhead, one simultaneously sees and experiences the Paramatma feature as well as the impersonal Brahman feature of the Supreme.
So if you connect with the personal feature of God, you will simultaneously understand the localized feature, the Paramatma, as well as that all-pervasive divine light feature, the Brahman.
That was beautiful.
Want to read the? You want to read the last paragraph?
Sure. Thought we were done, but yes, here we go.
The
The Bhagavatam has
Bhagavatam.
already enunciated that the absolute truth is present in three features. In the beginning, as in the
That's the
beginning,
verse that we read earlier.
yeah, as the impersonal
Brahmiti
Brahman.
Paramamiti Bhagavaniti Shabdate. Yeah.
The impersonal Brahman, that's the light. In the next stage is Paramatma in everyone's heart, right?
Mhm.
And at last, as the ultimate realization of the absolute truth, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. So God
And the person. Yeah.
One who sees the Supreme Person can automatically realize the other features, namely the Paramatma and the Brahman features of the Lord. The words used here are Vishoka Byam Richasi. Simply by seeing the personality of Godhead, one realizes everything. And the result is that one becomes situated on the platform where there is no lamentation and no fear.
Mm.
And this can be attained simply by devotional service to the personality of Godhead.
That's an allusion to a Gita verse there too. But maybe we hold that for tomorrow.
I've got another important announcement.
Yeah.
I am doing Sweet Baby Krishna
Mm.
live Wednesday night from the Denver Temple
Denver Temple.
with my friend Tusta Krishna. I'm going to Denver.
Okay, that means next week.
This week.
This week.
This week. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. You're going to Denver first. Okay.
I'm going to Denver first.
Okay.
And yeah, and so I'm going to go to the temple in the evening, and they're going to do a program for me. I was like, let's just call the program Sweet Baby Krishna.
Sweet Baby Krishna.
I'm going to try to do it 7:30 Denver time, which I think will be 5:30.
No, it goes the
That'll be
other way.
9:30.
It'll be 9:30, Baba.
Ooh. Okay, I'll do it earlier then.
All right.
How about that? I will do it at 6, which can be 8.
Well, what? 6 would be 9, wouldn't it? Or
6 would be
8.
2 hours
Yeah.
difference.
2 hours
Yeah.
difference. Okay, so that'd be
Do
8
that.
p.m. Okay, let's try to work on that. Well, let me know today, because tomorrow you're not here. I'm doing the show tomorrow with Doyle Garunga, the executive director of the Bhakti Center.
I've been replaced.
I can't take it.
I've been replaced. What do you think about that, Karuna? They're replacing me quick.
Karuna. Oh,
yeah,
Karuna, she was the one that she got a little upset. You weren't there on Sunday.
All right. All right, start that
But
music.
Sweet Baby
What's our
Krishna.
takeaway, sir?
Oh, takeaways.
Bhakti is kid-friendly.
Okay.
Think of Krishna and your lamentations and fears recede.
Mm-hmm.
Like my hairline.
We're entangled in unnecessary material desires. Focus your happiness internally. You will find Krishna
Focus.
situated in your heart.
Focus.
Worry is a poor investment of time and thoughts.
It really is.
Poor.
Attachment and fears cloud our judgment. Krishna
Gets
is
cloudy.
guiding you. Yep, Krishna is guiding you
Let
to
us digest these, Mara. They're all
Sorry.
heavy. They're all weighty.
They're weighty.
Krishna is guiding you to your ultimate realization. Doubt your mental loops and turbo scenarios.
Yeah, hear that. Take that in. Digest it.
Take that in.
Mum's the word.
Mum
Mom's the
pretty cool.
word.
I got
Yeah,
that.
it's Jamuna
Mom's the
Jaya.
word. Mom's the
Don't
word.
tattoo
Like,
it,
love
but
it.
I
Oh,
get
there
it.
you go.
Mom's the word.
There we go.
There's asana with Ariel
up with that?
Castillo at 6:30. Jamuna
Oh,
Jaya
cool.
came up with that one. Yeah.
Nice, Jamuna Jai. A little word play.
Oh, thanks everybody for joining us. Woo. I love laughing in the morning. This has been great.
Go ahead, laugh a little more.
Yeah, so we're going to announce Sweet Baby Krishna tomorrow night live in Denver. Youth of Today interview this Sunday. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we should also mention that after tomorrow's at the regular time, but Thursday through Sunday will be at 8 a.m. Eastern time.
Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah,
Sorry
tomorrow
about
regular
that.
time.
But that means we get some more Californians in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And hey, keep this boat floating, people. Our Patreon fund is getting a little. The Patreon boat's sinking a little. You need to boost that Patreon boat up. If you'd like to support us, now's the time. Patreon.com.
It makes it possible.
For the sages. This is how this boat floats. Patreon.com/Wisdom of the Sages. And then, I'm going to try to commit more to doing more Sweet Baby Krishnas. Kaustubha's going to start doing salsa lessons. We're excited for that. Yes.
What am I going to do?
Salsa lessons.
Salsa lessons? Okay.
On Patreon.
That's what it takes.
If that's what it takes to get the Bhagavatam going, he'll do it. Remember, it's Tell a Friend Tuesday, Simon Sweetman says. Tell a friend about our what's going on here. You might have some people that are out there that want some spiritual info. Tell them about Wisdom of the Sages. Pass it on. Write something down on your phone. Take a screenshot. Something you heard here. Don't write just anything. Write it something you heard here. Tag Wisdom of the Sages. Tag Raghunath Yogi. And then post it. And then we'll repost it. And and then we can spread this word. People need stuff. It's a dark time, and it's getting lighter. You know why? We are in the age of Aquarius.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's a beautiful day for a beautiful day, people. Come on, material world. I'm ready for you. What do you got for me today? I trust you, Krishna. I trust you, Krishna. Krishna's got my back. Whatever I'm getting today, it's exactly what I need. Krishna, I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. Shed this false ego sandpaper. Fine-tune my rough edges, Krishna.